1992, Rachel Carson wrote A Silent Spring, a book about how pesticides could be harmful to people and the environment. Here we are 56 years later, still overusing pesticides with no idea what they could be causing in the long run. Rachel says in A Silent Spring, the apple trees bloomed but no bees droned among the blossoms, so there was no pollination and there would be no fruit. That could be a reality in the next 56 years if we do not change our ways. Bees are very important to agriculture in more ways than I ever thought possible. By the end of this speech, I want everyone to be aware of how the things we do can hurt or help the bees. According to a report from the EPA in an article from 2017, during the winter of 2006 to 2007, some beekeepers began to report unusually high losses of 30 to 90% of their hives. Although in recent years these numbers have gotten better, there is still a lot that can be done to save our bees. Colony collapse disorder is threatening our bee population. Seeing as bees are an indicator of environmental issues, could what is threatening the bees potentially be threatening to humans? My interest in bees started last semester when I was in an environmental science course. For one of our projects, we had to choose 6 movies about environmental issues and watch them. One of the movies I chose was called Vanishing of the Bees. This really piqued my interest and is what started my research into bees. There are many important functions that bees do. There is the queen, there are worker bees. The foragers are the ones that colony collapse disorder threatens. They do a map dance when they leave the hive so they know where they're going and how to get home. When they get home, the nurse bees clean them of mites and viruses. They have weak immune systems, and this is how they threaten bee populations. Mites and viruses are an issue for beekeepers, but colony collapse disorder shocked everyone. David Heckenberg wrote in a March 2007 letter to growers, in October I brought several loads of bees from Florida to Pennsylvania and New York, and they appeared to be strong, healthy hives when I unloaded them. But by mid-November, several of my larger yards had less than 10% of the hives still alive. Colony collapse disorder has a few characteristics that are different from viruses. The bees simply go missing. They leave the queen and the young and disappear. This problem is not happening with organic beekeepers, just regular beekeepers. In Heckenberg's letter, he states that beekeepers that have been most affected so far have been close to corn, cotton, soybeans, canola, sunflowers, apples, vine crops, and pumpkins. This is also affecting birds and bats. There are many theories as to what is causing colony collapse disorder. One theory was cell phone wavelengths, mites and viruses, bacteria, parasites, genes, stress, nutrition, and GMOs. All these theories have been dismissed. Research shows that in 1994, the same thing happened in France. They were using an insecticide called Gaucho. The main ingredient is called IMP. When tested, IMP made bees more susceptible to disease, groggy, and impairs the memory. Bees are not able to follow the flight plan dance and they never come home. In France, the use of IMD is suspended, but it stayed in the soil for years. It was replaced by Regent Fipronil, and the problem worsens, so they banned that as well. Colony collapse disorder in France went away. Although this is banned in France, it is still used everywhere else. Insecticides do not have enough testing and could be affecting humans the same way that they are affecting bees. The U.S. wasn't informed about France, and we were doing our own research. The Bush administration was lax with pesticide regulations and increased the tolerance level of pesticides. At this point, the U.S. was using IMD but had no idea that that was harming the bees. David Heckenberg found out, went to France, did his own research, and educated beekeepers. We need to make the government take responsibility for their actions and have more uptight regulations on pesticides. So what can we do to help? We can plant things bees like. A lot of people have been starting bee gardens that contain things like sunflowers, roses, watermelon, and mint. Even in the cities, it doesn't have to be in the country. It all helps bees. Another thing you can do is to buy all organic. When you're gardening, be organic. When you're shopping, be organic. That way you're not buying things that contain these harmful pesticides or supporting the companies that do. A lot of people have also been starting beehives. Just reading a book about bees this week, I met 2 people at my hotel that had started beehives at their homes. So whether it is buying only organic food, planting a bee garden, or starting your own hive, every little bit counts. Bees are extremely important to our planet. We need to watch what is going on the earth and what we are putting in our bodies. If it is killing the bees, who knows what it is doing to us? Pesticides are causing CCD and threatening our bees. No one wants to live in a world without flowers, fruits, or vegetables. We need to do everything in our power to save the bees and ourselves. Remember, everything, no matter how small, helps the bees.